Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to Mortal Kombat XL. In this video, I am going to be giving you a basic overview slash tutorial on how to play Bartitsu Rai'Cho. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think Bartitsu right now is probably one of the most underlooked characters as of the October patch. He is really strong in my opinion, and a lot of people don't use him because they're still in the mindset where Rai'Cho, has trouble getting in against zoners. You can just keep him out. And some of that still holds true, but with the new patch, he has received a ton of improvements. The main change being to his mobility. He has a faster startup on his run and faster startup on his backdash and forward dash, which means that against zoners, he has a lot easier of a time getting in. Plus, with the changes to the stamina mechanic, he just has an easier time getting in. Now, Bartitsu, in my opinion, is the strongest variation of this character. I know some people like Dragon's Breath, but personally, I think the huge mix-up ability of this character, as well as the great damage, make him the best. So, let's go over some of his normals and basic tools. And I'm going to just give you an overview, like I said, of what to do with him. This character is straight up about mixing your opponent. He has a ton of overheads and lows. So what you're trying to do here is constantly keep your opponent guessing. Stay in their face, mix them up with overheads, low specials, overhead specials, to the point where they're just gonna make mistakes blocking. The thing about this game is you can't block forever. Eventually, your opponent is gonna make a mistake. You're gonna open them up, and then it's gonna hurt. Now, of course, the downsides of this for Rai'Cho is that most of his mix-ups are unsafe, even though some of it, like this monkey flip, is pretty difficult to punish. And this move is super unsafe, but this is the one you're going to be using to trip up your opponent. And the other thing is that this character is pretty heavily dependent on meter. So yeah, really breakers and things like that are not going to be options too often, because you're going to be spending your meter on EX stomps, on the EX down back 2. But still, once you get in there, your opponent is going to have a bad time. So, the main thing you're going to be using to mix up your opponent is this string. This is, of course, the back 1 4 string. It goes into, well, back 1 is a mid overhead, very quick. This can break armor, and the other thing it's very good at is, oops, I just did the wrong thing, is an anti-air move. Like if you're in the corner against Rai'Cho, this will pretty much stop any sort of jumping out, or if your opponent is trying to escape, this is gonna shut it down. In terms of armor breaking, this is now a really strong tool. Of course, this destroys projectiles now, but it also has a much faster startup, so this is a good option if you think your opponent is gonna be waking up. Go for it, and it's gonna break armor. But yeah, this is one of your main mix-up tools because you have a ton of options. So you can go overhead. So that's a mid, overhead, low, overhead. You can also go mid, overhead, low into low. This move normally just ends, like I said, like you saw, in that downward slam. Of course, you can EX it and go into a full combo. You can also do some other things. I'm like 90% sure that this move is safe if you EX it. I'm gonna just check because I haven't checked frame data. Yeah, it is safe. So if your opponent blocks this, you can still hit confirm into this, and that's gonna leave you safe. I mean, -2 is that's very safe. Costs a meter, but it's worth it, I think. Even the non-EX version is only -5, so you can do that as well. Of course, he has this string, which is a classic Rai'Cho move. Normally in the other variations, he can't do much off of this. You know, he can choose to cut the string short or go into a monkey flip or something, but that's about it. In this variation, however, he of course can mix you up with the low cane. So this becomes a 50-50. Let's just actually not fail at doing the inputs. So this becomes a 50-50. And you know, this character isn't completely broken, of course, because the cane is reactable. As you can see, it has quite a startup animation, but still, that's why I said at the beginning that your goal here is to keep your mix-ups really creative. You can also use this string, which is his low starter. It's his only low starter in this variation. Again, slow startup, but you can go into monkey flips. You can go into low cane. You can hit confirm into this. The down back 2 is this variation's main combo starter. Of course, it costs a meter, but I'll show you in a bit that you can get some huge damage off of it. I know I'm sorry about these drops, but I am doing this with live commentary. So for example, you can do something like this. I mean, that's 43% for 1 meter. That is probably some of the highest damage you can do for 1 meter. Unless you have, like, you know, Kotal Khan's Totem or, you know, one of those damage enhancing moves. This is also a hard knockdown. And just like the other variations. Oh yeah, there's also this string, of course, that you can do your mix-ups on. You can go into 4 lows off of this. So it's pretty insane. I mean, just the sheer mix-up potential of this character is ridiculous. And if you play this guy, if you play Bartitsu, again, you gotta keep it creative. You shouldn't just rely on using one string like this, because eventually your opponent is gonna figure it out. Mix it up. You can also use this, of course. Now this is a lot easier to confirm off of, because his Rai'Cho's run is faster. But you can also go into the low cane off of this. You get the idea. Again, you're really going to keep it creative. This move you can also mix up opponents with. If I can get the timing. Yeah, there you go. Alright. So once you mix up your opponent, you essentially have 2 options with what to do. Basically, once you apply the fart. Option number 1 is to just cash out for damage. As you saw earlier, this character has pretty fantastic damage. This is a BMB I do often. That's 40% or 39% damage. And you pretty much have your opponent in the corner where you can do your reset and keep them guessing. The other thing you can do, this is option number 2, which is a little bit more risky, is just do a jump 2. The thing is, if you do a jump 2 and you wait a bit, this move is super plus. So basically what you can do after a fart is do this and go in for another mix-up. It's essentially like a reset. So you hit them, go jump 2, into a low, and back into the same situation. Go overhead this time. I mean, this is not technically a vortex because the low is reactable. You are taking a risk if you're choosing to do this. However, again, first of all, Rai'Cho is not widely used online, so the chances of your opponent being ready for that are pretty low. Second of all, it's still a guess, so if they guess wrong, you can put them back into the same situation if you have meter. Again, like I said at the start, this character is very heavily dependent on meter. In the corner, you can pretty much do the same thing. This character is really, really nasty in the corner. Of course, the fart is more of a threat there as well because it's so plus. So yeah, just a ton of options. This is also a thing you can do off of the overhead and low. It's a grab string, does a shit ton of damage, and it goes into a pretty sick brutality. So if you want, of course, you can go into this as well. Of course, the risk is that if your opponent, if this misses, it has like a massive recovery on it. So yeah, that is about all that you need to know about Bartitsu. Again, I think this is a super overlooked character. Aside from the fact that he's very meter dependent, I think he's incredibly strong. One of the few characters that is still about, you know, like really nasty, constant mix-ups. And now the combos are a lot easier because of his faster run and everything. Still does great damage. I think he has a place in this meta quite a bit. One more thing I want to show, but I think this is more of a general Rai'Cho thing. I think most people know about this. If you go into a combo with him, oops, which I just dropped. Whatever, I dropped it. I'm just going to show you. If you go into anything that's a hard knockdown, you can go, I'm not sure that is. You can go into this move, the down 4 enhanced, which is a standing reset. It is super plus. If you use it in the corner, it pretty much guarantees another mix up. So yeah, I think again that's more of a general Rai'Cho thing, but still it is something that you should use in this variation too. Final thing I want to show is his cane snag, which is this move. Now this move is technically a standing reset. However, the thing is nothing is guaranteed off of this except maybe a down 1. So if you do this, you can do it and go into another mix-up. However, just be aware that your opponent can armor and even poke out. But this is another one of those things like the fart reset. Is that really, is your opponent going to be ready for this? I don't think many people online have really seen too many really good Rai'Chos. So if you do this at the end of a combo, I think you can trip them up, unless again they're like pressing buttons out of it, which is what you should be doing. So yeah, that is what I just showed you. Is a pretty common thing that happens online. This is about how sometimes my matches go against people. They just get hit by every single mix-up and they just have a terrible time. So if you want a fun character to try out, I definitely recommend Bartitsu. He is not the most difficult character to learn. I actually think that the other two variations, Drunken Master and Dragon's Breath, are a lot more tricky. This, oh yeah, I didn't even mention this string. Huge range on it. Yeah. Keep your mix-ups creative. Constantly trip your opponent up with your strings, your special moves, the fart resets, and you're gonna take out people quickly. Again, this is a really solid character, a ton of fun. If you want someone new to try out in MKX, definitely go ahead and try out this character. So yeah, that is gonna be it for this episode. Hope you enjoyed this character overview for Bartitsu. Thanks for watching and goodbye.